I knew my wife was a spy. I just didn't know for how long she had been a spy, and when I found out what it was she was spying on, it made me very angry. It all started when we moved into our new home. The house looked pretty normal from the outside, but it was huge on the inside. It had high ceilings and long hallways. As soon as I walked in, I could tell it used to be some kind of school or something like that. The floors were covered in linoleum and there were lockers lining the walls, but it was cheap and we couldn't afford to buy a new house. So we moved right in. Then one day I noticed a secret passageway in the wall. At first I thought it was just a trick of the light, but then I realized there was a door in the wall. When I opened the door, there was a dark staircase leading down into the basement. It was very strange because the house didn't seem to have a basement, and I never saw anyone come or go from that room. One night I heard some voices coming from the room. I couldn't make out what they were saying, but it sounded like they were arguing. Then I heard a loud crash, followed by heavy footsteps. I told myself it must have been the wind or something, but curiosity got the better of me, and I went to check it out. I slowly approached the door and listened intently. The voices had stopped, but now I could hear some kind of tapping sound. It almost sounded like someone was trying to dig through the wall. That's when I decided to break into the room and find out what was going on. To get into the room, I had to push open a heavy metal door. I did it very slowly, trying not to make any noise. Once I got in, I turned the light switch on and saw that I wasn't alone. There was a woman standing in the corner of the room with her back to me. She was wearing black leather pants and a tight black shirt that left most of her midriff exposed. Her long, flowing red hair cascaded down her back, and her legs were crossed at the ankle. "Who are you?" I asked her, trying to sound menacing, even though I was really scared. The woman slowly turned around, and I gasped when I saw her face. It was my wife, but it wasn't just any version of my wife. She looked like some kind of warrior woman from the 80s. She had a big blonde wig on, and was wearing heavy makeup. Before I could say another word, she attacked me. She came at me with lightning speed and knocked me out cold with a single punch. When I woke up, I was lying on the floor with a bag over my head. I struggled to get the bag off my head, and when I finally did, I found myself in a dark room. I was sitting in a chair with my hands tied behind my back. The room I was in was small and bare. There was a single window in the far corner, and a metal table and chair in the middle of the room. On the table was a glass of water and a note. The note said, "Do not drink the water." I hesitated for a moment, but then I remembered what my wife had looked like when I saw her in the passageway. She had looked like a character from a cheesy action movie. If she was involved in some kind of espionage, then this must be part of the plot. So I drank the water. As soon as I drank the water, two burly men entered the room. They ripped the bag off my head and dragged me out of the room. They took me through a series of hallways and then into a large room. In the middle of the room was a massive wooden desk, and behind the desk sat a man. He was tall and thin with a sharp nose and piercing eyes. He looked at me for a moment without saying a word. Then he spoke in a deep voice. "You are the husband of our most valuable asset. We have reason to believe that you may be a threat to her safety. Therefore, we are eliminating you." I stared at the man in disbelief. Was he serious? Was he actually going to kill me? Before I could respond, one of the men grabbed me by the collar and dragged me toward a pair of swinging doors at the far end of the room. "Wait," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "What did I do to deserve this?" The man paused and turned around. "You will know soon enough," he said with a sinister smile. He pushed me through the doors and into a dark room. When my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I realized that I was in a coffin. They had put me in a coffin. I started to panic. Was this the end? Was I going to die? Then I heard a familiar voice. "You're awake," she said. How did you get in the coffin? I asked. I was worried about you. I followed you here, and when I saw them put you in the coffin, I couldn't help but wonder if you were dead. I'm sorry I lied to you, she said. I had to protect myself. Why? Why did you lie to me? I asked. Because I'm a spy, she said. I work for the government. She explained that she had been sent to our house to monitor our communications. She had been watching us for months, ever since we moved in. But why? Why were you spying on us? I asked. Because you are a potential threat to national security, she said. We have reason to believe that you may be planning something. Planning what? I asked. We don't know, she said. That's why we were monitoring your communications. She told me that she had been living in the secret room in our house the entire time. She had been watching us through the secret passageway. I can't believe I trusted you, I said. I'm sorry, she said. I had no choice. She told me that she had been ordered to keep an eye on me, to report on my every move. If she hadn't done her job, she would have been fired from her position. And if she was fired, she knew that the agency would find her and erase her from existence. So you would have killed me, I said. Yes, she said. I'm sorry. She looked down at her feet. Don't be sorry, I said. Be glad. Be glad that you were only ordered to spy on me. You could have been ordered to do much worse things. She looked up at me with tears in her eyes. I love you, she whispered. I know, I said, and I love you too. She threw herself into my arms, and I held her tight. For a moment, neither of us spoke. I could feel her trembling in my arms, and I knew that she was crying. What are we going to do? She whispered. I don't know, I said, but we'll figure it out. I kissed her on the forehead and pulled away. I'm sorry about everything, she said. It's okay, I said. We'll be fine. I knew that she was lying. She had been spying on me for months, and I had no idea about it. I couldn't trust her. I'm leaving, I said. Where will you go? She asked. I don't know, I said. Anywhere away from here. I knew that if I stayed in that house, I would be in danger. I needed to get away. I needed to start a new life. Will you come with me? I asked. She hesitated for a moment. I can't, she said. I'm sorry. It's okay, I said. I understand. I knew that she couldn't leave. She was a spy, and her job was to stay in that house. She was watching me. I could feel her eyes on me as I packed my things. I knew that she was watching every move I made. When I was finished packing, I left the house. I didn't look back. I didn't want to see her again. I needed to start a new life. A life where I didn't have to worry about being spied on. A life where I could trust the people around me. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew that I had to get away from that house. As I drove away, I could feel her eyes on me. I could sense her presence in the back of my mind. But I didn't care. I was free. I was free from the woman who had been spying on me. Free from the secrets that she was hiding. And most of all, I was free from the danger that she had brought into my life.